Good morning to all. So today we'll continue the various tensile testing instruments. Up till now we have discussed pendulum lever tester with CRT principle, and the second one was stellometer fiber bundle strength tester based on CRL, and it was based on uh, pendulum lever principle where force was directly proportional to sine theta. Now moving on to the next instrument, today we'll discuss about Presley fiber strength tester. Now the main points we need to remember is one thing, Presley fiber strength tester. So it is a fiber strength, only strength. Number one, it gives us bundle strength, not single fiber strength, only used for fibers, and it is based on beam balance principle. It works on zero gauge length. Zero gauge length means the distance between the two clamps will be zero, but the total length of the fiber bundle at zero gauge length will be 0.464 inches, which is standard. That is equal to 11.78 mm. So it works on zero inch gauge length. So it will not give elongation. It will only give the reading of breaking load of the fiber bundle. One thing. Now, on which principle it is based? CRL, CRE, CRT? Nothing. It is neither CRE nor CRT nor CRE. Principle is entirely different. Now, what is the principle of beam balance? We need to understand. We all use this beam balance in normal shops. So it is a very simple instrument. Let us try to understand. This is the line diagram of the Presley fiber strength tester. These are the two clamps. This is top clamp. This is bottom clamp. This is the specimen, that is ribbon of fiber. Okay. Now this O point is the fulcrum. AB is the beam. This is the graduated beam. That means we can note the reading directly from the scale. This is a rolling carriage having weight W. Now what happens is this. There is a catch here. When we put the sample here, specimen here, and we remove the catch, this rolling weight starts rolling towards this side, and because this is fulcrum, this B point starts getting in moving in upward direction, and A point starts moving in somewhat lower direction. Now this B point is firmly fixed with this top clamp. As B moves upward, this top clamp also moves upward. So the force is applied on the this fiber specimen. With the increase in this distance from this fulcrum point, the force increases, because what is the basic principle of beam balance is this length of the arm into weight W is equal to length of this part into the force developed inside the specimen. As force developed inside the specimen increases, this is constant and this weight is constant, but this distance increases. So at the point at which the fiber bundle breaks, this arrangement stops automatically, and the readings we can read from this graduated beam. Okay. In this instrument, rate of loading is directly proportional to speed at which this rolling weight carriage rolls down. So it is not a CRL based instrument. Rate of loading increases throughout the test. Okay. One more thing is important about this instrument, that nowadays we use HVI, high volume instruments. It is a set of instruments we have studied in the last semester. In HVI, we use this Presley principle to measure the strength of the bundle strength of the fibers. One more term we need to understand related to this instrument is when we use this instrument, earlier this term was used, that is Presley index. We report the results in the form of Presley index, which is basically breaking load in pounds divided by fiber bundle weight in milligrams. I am repeating, Presley index is breaking load in pounds divided by fiber bundle weight in milligrams. Now, nowadays we report tenacity in gram force per tex. So we need to find the conversion factor between Presley index and tenacity in gram force per tex. We'll do it in assignment. Okay. Now going on to the next instrument. Next we will study Cambridge extensometer. Cambridge extensometer is a spring based instrument, tensile testing instrument. It works in both CRL as well as CRE condition. The unique point of this instrument is that it can work both under CRL conditions as well as under CRE conditions. And it is the loading is done here by extending the helical spring S shown here, and it is used for single fiber or fine yarn because loading is done by helical spring, so it is used for very small breaking loads. Now this is spring. These two G1 and G2 are the grips which grip the specimen, fiber or fine yarn, and there is one leaf spring also. This is the leaf spring, which G1 upper grip is in touch with this, is in contact with this leaf spring. C1 and C2 are electrical contacts which have connection with motor M1 and M2. Okay. Now this instrument can work both in CRL and CRE conditions. What happens basically when it is working under CRL condition, that is the lower jaw is fixed, this motor is not moving, this M1 is running and H1 moves upward, and this spring is extended, and through this spring this specimen is given the force, constant force. Now basically what is happening is rate of loading will be directly proportional to speed of M1, which is constant. Speed of M1 is constant, and the other thing is properties of the spring. Now here the spring has got special properties that it is extended under Hookean region where stress is directly proportional to strain. So we are extending this spring at a constant rate, assuming that the force developed in this specimen is also constant, that is it works under CRL conditions. Okay. Now what happens when you start the motor M1 under CRL condition? This H1 is moving upward, the spring is being extended, and this sample is being extended in this direction. Now this after a particular point, when this specimen is extended, this leaf spring will touch C2 and this will activate the motor M2, and M2 will start for intermittently in case of CRL conditions, and H2 will move downward, and this specimen extension is being taken up. Again, when H2 will move this downward, this spring, leaf spring will come in the horizontal position, and again this cycle will repeat. Now in case of CRE, the process reverses. M1 is not working, it is stopped. M2 is working. So basically then this G1 is fixed, and G2 we are extended the G2 at constant rate, which depends only on the speed of the motor. And after a particular point, if this touch C1, this leaf spring will touch C1, then intermittently motor M1 will start, and till this point this leaf spring is again horizontal. So in this way basically it is working in both CRL and CRE conditions. Cambridge extensometer. Okay. Now moving on to the next instrument, that is inclined plane tester, which is purely a CRL tester. Let us try to understand this. Okay, now this is inclined plane tester which works under purely CRL conditions. Let us try to understand the diagram here. Now this is the fixed jaw, this is a rolling carriage, heavy carriage having the jaw here, and this is used for yarns, and here Worcester yarn strength tester. This is the yarn sample between two jaws. This is the fulcrum point. And now how this instrument works, where if the weight of this carriage is W this way, then the component in the direction of the yarn will be W sine theta. So W sine theta is the force which is acting on this yarn. Now weight is constant, but if the theta component we can increase, then sine theta increases and the force will increase. So force is basically proportional to W sine theta, where W is constant and theta we will increase. How we will increase the theta? We will just lower this point. If we lower this point, this angle will increase theta. So sine theta component will increase and the load on the specimen will increase. Load is directly proportional to sine theta, and at particular point where it breaks, we can calculate the force. And this instrument is for yarns, and it is wholly CRL principle. It comes under gravimetric type of testers. Okay, now the next one which we'll try to understand is ballistic or impact tester. Earlier in the first class we have discussed about this also. Now what is ballistic or impact tester? It gives us not force or elongation, it measures the work of rupture or energy required to break the specimen. This is a very simple instrument. As we can see, there are two jaws. This is jaw 1, which is fixed jaw, and the jaw 2 is attached to the pendulum, and this is the specimen, fabric or yarn, whatever we are testing. And in initial position, we start from here. This is a very heavy pendulum, so sample is like this, and we release the pendulum. Now earlier the height was this, and when we release the pendulum at particular, suppose at this height the specimen breaks. Now this is H2 and this is H1. Now the difference in the potential energy, now mg is the same, that is weight of the pendulum, mg. H1 minus H2 will give you the work of rupture, which is equal to loss of potential energy, and which will give the work of rupture of the specimen. So this type of instrument we use for directly measuring work of rupture. Okay, now we'll try to understand strain gauge principle, which is the most popular form of tensile testers which are being used nowadays in Instron and Tensojet and this Tensorapid. Okay, this is a leaf spring based instrument. This is a CRE instrument. This is universal instrument used for fiber, yarn, fabric, Lee, etc. The basic principle, the basic underlying principle is, this is the leaf spring in the form of cantilever, and there is a resistance wire which is a part of the Wheatstone bridge. When a piece of, we know that when a piece of resistance wire is stretched, that is its length increases, its electrical resistance also increases, which can be calibrated in the form of breaking load. Now what happens here, when these are jaw 1 and jaw 2, and this is the specimen. When we extend this specimen by moving the jaw 2 at a constant rate, this cantilever spring bends with and this portion extends, very slight extension in the resistance, but as this resistance is a part of the Wheatstone bridge, this resistance changes, and which can be calibrated, and all the electronics involved is there, but still this change in resistance is calibrated into breaking load. So this is the basic principle of the Instron Universal Tensile Strength Tester. Okay, thank you for today. We'll continue in the next class.